still think they need to make a lot of changes to the game. The company is wrong for doing what they're doing to the fans. You know what I'm saying? You know, they should never take you know, I'm happy that Street Fighter made it to America, but I'm not happy that they just take whatever garbage Capcom Japan makes and just translates it and puts it out here. That's not acceptable. For me, that's not acceptable to the fans, especially with how many mistakes are in this game. And for me to say anything else would be a lie. So, you know, if you don't like it, too bad. But, you know, if you want to make money with a franchise like this, that's as amazing as this is, and you want to keep your fans there, then you should make it fair all across the board. And it's not. It's really not. It's obvious that you see when you play online how many players are using this character, this character, this character, this character, and almost no one uses a hand, like basically everyone in the game. You know what I'm saying? There's way too many mistakes in this game. You know, if I were to remake the game, I would take away all the priority that EX and special moves have. Like, let's say, for example, anti-air, I would make every anti-air like Laura. Like, basically, every anti-air would be like Laura in the game. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even use it as a ground tool. You know, because there's a lot of players just relying on that to win. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I would change basically all the priority. Like, even if you throw super out, if they're catching you with a projectile or something like that, it beats whatever you're doing unless you do it right. Like, basically, in other words, if you're not somehow finding a way to combo this shit, then it's really not going to work out. It's really not going to work out. And as for the grabs, I would make the walk speed a little bit slower. You know what I'm saying? I'll make the walk speed a little bit slower. I think it's like way too fast. And that's just making players rely on grabs, and that's it. They're not trying to be good. They're just trying to jab and grab, and like, it's more complex than that, and it should be more complex than that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the character I'm using, I would at least make her full screen projectile. Even if once it's fully charged, I would make it full screen. You know what I mean? I feel like it doesn't travel far enough. Like, people like this. I don't know. At the very least, make the stages smaller, man. And I would take away the backdash. You know what I'm saying? I would take away the backdash altogether. You can't backdash at all. Like, you can forward dash and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Those are the changes I can think of right now, man. The game is amazing. The franchise is amazing. It basically started all fighting games that are out right now. And, you know, it's sad to see that they're selling the least out of all of them. The only time they were ever selling big numbers was 30 years ago, basically. In like 1990, 1992 or something like that. That's a long time ago. That's like basically, you know, 30 years ago. Like, that's crazy. That's, you know, they could be doing way better than that. And all they have to do is make the game fair. You know, like, all those inputs that people are putting in the air, I wouldn't even allow that. You have to do a ground super. You have to be grounded. You have to be able to do the motion. Like, for example, if I do a cross under, they can't buffer the super or the special move until their feet hit the ground. Once their feet hit the ground, then their special moves are registered again. Their motions are registered again. That way, it really makes the game like intense. You know what I'm saying? People are just basically mashing to victory, and it's like crazy, man. You know what I mean? They're like just mindlessly just press 3 buttons with Zangief, beats everything on the screen. Activate V trigger, beats everything on the screen. You know, it's just not acceptable, man. You know, if it was more based off of talent, it would be like more fun. You know, like 10 players are not landing projectiles in their combos, benefiting entirely off of it. Like, you know, Ryu players, Akuma players, it's too much like garbage. You know what I mean? It's crazy because I was just playing offline. I literally lost, like, I could count like maybe twice that I actually lost when I wasn't streaming. When I stream, it starts lagging up my matches too much, and I can't really enjoy it without, like, you know, it's affecting my gameplay too much because my buttons aren't coming out, and it's like it's too much to stream and to you know, I know where my talent is. As you can see, when I'm not streaming, you can see what almost like I'm almost guaranteed to get a perfect on my opponent at least one time during the set. Like, that's, you know, it's really not fair to me to lose to Ryu players that don't even know how to play the game properly. Like, they're just dashing, grabbing, you know, and they're getting away with it because they're playing online. They're not talented players. You know, they don't have to play defense because the parry is in it. Take the parry out of the game. You're ruining the game with parry. And that goes for Tekken as well. Take the parry out of the game. That goes for any move like that. Take it out of the game. Mortal Kombat 11. Take it out of the game. Require players to play defense. Stop allowing them to do defensive wake-up option and B reversal and B roll. Stop doing that. You're ruining the game with that. Take the parry out. You know what I'm saying? You have such an amazing franchise. Don't ruin it. And you know, don't ruin it for the fans that have been playing the game and been supporting the game. You know, as for the and the close standing normals, you know what I'm saying, that everyone like seems to care about all of a sudden, you know, that no one gave a damn about, and so I started mentioning it. You know what I'm saying? Those close standing normals, the proximity normals, or whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah, I was the first one that actually gave a damn about bringing it back into the game. You know, for whatever reason, in Street Fighter 4, they took it out. In Street Fighter 5, they took it out completely, and I thought it ruined the game a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing that's ruining the game. The universal overhead not being in the game is ruining the game. And when the universal overhead lands, it has to do more hit stun. It has to stun the opponent more. On the jab and the standing light and the crouching light kick, I would at least add, like, you know, the jab into the medium punch, jab into medium, crouching medium kick, or standing medium kick. That has to be easier to do. You know what I'm saying? That has to be easier to do. Like the way it is easier on counter hit should be the way it is at the very least all times. At all times. The crouching light kick, crouching jab, crouching light kick combo from third strike, that should be back in the game. That way it gives you a better window of opportunity to land that super, because especially in the lag, it's extremely difficult to land that super, you know, with Ryu, all the characters. Like, in third strike, as difficult as it may seem, that extra light kick that you could get during the combo, you know, gives you a better window of opportunity, believe it or not. You know, I hate to say, like, the reason they took it out is so that people stop grabbing so much, but people do it anyway, right? So, like, at least keep the combos that are good in the game, and improve on the combos that need to be improved. Like the standing jab into medium punch, that has to be easier to do. It's way too inconsistent. It should be way easier to do. Like, almost like how a target combo is. You know what I mean? It should be that kind of easy. But, like, if you don't land it, they should make it so that if you don't land the jab into the medium punch, you basically lose your turn, though. Like, it's not going to be like how the game normally is, where you hit medium punch and it's kind of still your turn. Right? I'm saying that if they try to do jab into medium punch and the opponent blocks it, you lose your turn. Because essentially you tried to go for a combo and didn't get it. But I don't think it would be fair if they go for that combo and they get countered. You know, if you want to make a counter, cool. Even better for me. You know what I'm saying? But I think My dog's going crazy in the background. You know what I'm saying? As for those anti-air normals, I would adjust them so that you cannot use them as anti-air normals anymore. Like for example, Sagat's standing hard kick, I would readjust it so that it hits lower and the hitbox does not anti-air. You know what I'm saying? He could use that as a standing tool, no problem. And in fact, I would make his standing light kick way less. Sagat's standing light kick, I would reduce the range because he's way too good. He's way too good. The projectiles do way too much pushback. Like when you block a projectile, it pushes you way too far back. You know what I'm saying? That's what's making it so difficult to counter these zoner characters. If you just didn't put any push block at all, maybe on hit you could get push block, but on block you should not push the opponent so far back. You know what I mean? Because I think you're ruining the game with that. You know, it would be way easier to counter these opponents. In fact, I would increase the recovery time on block projectiles. That way you can counter them. You know, Akira, for example, Akira is a prime example of what I'm talking about that needs to be fixed in the game. Like, is that a true block string? Like, if I have EX, no. You know what I'm saying? If I have V reversal, no. But I shouldn't have to rely on that. That's the point I'm trying to make. You know what I'm saying? Like, the point I'm trying to make is that if the opponent makes a mistake, they should be countered for it. That's the way a fighting game should be. That's the way a fighting game should be. All that V reversal and for example in Tekken 7, they have that wake up low kick sweep that can lead to full combo. That's crazy. I would take that out. The wake up hard kick, standing high kick, that could lead to full combo as well. A lot of players in Tekken 7, they'll lay on the ground to avoid getting basically pressured again, and they'll rely on a low sweep, a high kick to do it. I feel like I don't know, I don't know if they adjusted it or not, but I feel like it feels better than when I first started playing Tekken 7. But I don't know. I just don't think at the very least it should lead to full combo. Because I understand why they kind of put it in the game, because in a way I feel like it shouldn't be in the game at all, because all these players that complain about the best players in the game, like for example Double Jin and Kazuya, you know, their pressure situation is almost always started with a dash. So if you combine the dash with the like hell sweep, it no longer becomes such a difficult thing to block. Because if you're taking into consideration the fact that they're dashing as well, there's a lot of time for you to understand he's probably going for hell sweep there, which would most certainly be the first option. And that's where a lot of players don't understand. Like, they're just going, he's dashing and then he's catching me with hell sweep. No, he can't hell sweep without the dash. He can't do the uppercut. You know, everyone makes it like such a big deal. Oh my God, he's doing that weird name that the Thunder Fist or whatever the fuck Kazuya got. They make it seem like so godlike. It's like, it's not. It's really not. It's really not, because he can't do that without dashing. So what does that tell you? If you see Kazuya dashing, be prepared to block low first, because most certainly he's gonna go low first. You know, it's not like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter where most certainly he's gonna go. Most certainly they're gonna go high first. In Tekken, I feel like it's similar, but you'll get countered high just as easily for thinking that you could just sit low. You know what I'm saying? So like, in my opinion, like I love all these fighting games. You know, if you hear me talking a lot of shit and like I'm a sore loser or whatever, a lot of the times what I've noticed that like when I'm streaming and I'm playing a game online, it'll drastically sometimes I'll have a decent match. You know what I mean? But it'll completely take my inputs out of the game altogether sometimes. Like, and I don't know if I can even play like that anymore, because it's like it's taking away the fun for me personally. I'm sure it's fun for the people that are listening, that are like, yo, this dude's really like spazzing out. You know, I'm just exaggerating it. Like, I'm not, you know, I don't really care whether I win or lose. You know what I'm saying? I do want them to fix the game and make it right, because I do have pride in like trying to prove that I'm the best at this. But I don't really care. Like, if someone's good enough to beat me, congratulations. But realistically, I don't think there's too many people that can do it. You know, if they could do it, I don't think they could do it out of talent. I think they could do it because the game is not properly programmed yet. And I think it's a shame, because like after 30 years, it still has the same issues that it had when it first started. And I feel like it's easy to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying my best to, like, as a fan, to, because I would hate for them to lose their fans and me have to only play against like 10 other guys out there that still want to play the game. Like, I want there to be like 20 million fans playing the game at one time. You know what I'm saying? Because if you make it right, I think everyone would love to play this game all the time. And the reason people don't give this game the chance that it does deserve is because it's so unfair and so unbalanced. And in fact, Street Fighter V is the most unbalanced Street Fighter of all time. So it's like, you know, instead of V-Skill, I would put the universal overhead third strike, for sure. And I would add way more hit stun to the universal overhead. That way, every character can land super, you know what I mean? At least the ones that can be landed. You know what I mean? Obviously, Remy can't land super R3. You know what I mean? That would be crazy to believe that he can. You know what I'm saying? Can I land like universal overhead into super? Yeah, but like, do I think the typical average player can do it? No. Do I think if they made like easy one-button supers in Street Fighter 6, can every player do it? Yes. And do I think that's the route they should do as a business? Yes. You know what I mean? For tournaments where you have to play for money, no. But for casual play, when you play online, every player should be allowed to use simple mode. You know what I mean? Where you press one button, it does a special move for you. One button does a super for you. Or two, but like LT, RT does a super for you. Like Mortal Kombat 11. Or like one button supers like Tekken 7, even better. You know what I'm saying? I think like for the sake of maybe getting more people to play your games and consistently keep playing your games, you're going to need that simple mode and that one button super type layout. Like me personally, I'm not going to be using it because I'm not stupid enough to figure it out. But like for everyone else out there that's like stupid as hell and can't figure it out, you know what I'm saying? I highly recommend it. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'll never use it because I'm just that talented. But I recommend that you use it for your business. You know what I'm saying? I think it still is the most intense fighting game. And I think like it could keep getting better. And I think, you know, I think they are continuing to make this game better in a lot of ways. Like, I'm not going to deny that. Like, from the original Hyper Fighting, that was real cheap. It was still a lot of fun, but it was like so cheap. But it's still a lot of fun. I could play it to this very day and still have fun because it's fun. Even though it's so cheap and it doesn't really make any sense, it's hard to counter people. That all you see is people throwing each other or like, you know, trying to land uppercuts even though like they're just kind of throwing them out there. You know, with the exception of me, basically, like, you know, the game was still fun. Third Strike, I still think is the best one. But the parry, I think it's too complex and it's just going to frustrate beginner and intermediate players as well as myself. Like, it's gonna make you not want to play the game because it's gonna feel like you can't do anything. And there's already a limited amount of options in the game available, so why reduce it even more than that? And it's not even fair because not every character can do the parry in Street Fighter V. There's a handful of characters that can do parry. There's like less than half the cast can do a parry. And it's really not fair because with parry, you don't have to play defense properly. And that's part of what makes this game so amazing. Is having to play defense properly. And you're just taking all the fun out of the game. You're taking all the talent out of the game. And by doing that, you're making the game worse and worse and worse. So in my honest opinion, as a fan that has played basically every single game, even though Third Strike is my favorite, that's because of the universal overhead. I'm saying Third Strike is my favorite because the universal overhead combos into super. I'm not saying it because of the parry. The parry, in my opinion, ruined Street Fighter. In fact, I think it ruins every fighting game. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, you know, like I said, the anti-air should be just anti-airs. There should be no anti-air normal. You're either anti-airing properly, or you're having the block, or you're getting countered. That's what would make this game intense. That's what makes this game fun. Did I do it properly? What makes, in my opinion, part of what makes this game amazing is how intense it can be. Either you properly countered them, either they countered you, or you properly countered them. Like, if you do the counter a split second wrong, you're getting counter for trying to counter them. Because the way they designed the game, and in my opinion, after thinking about it, I'm like, yo, it makes perfect sense. The reason they chose half circle back to do the move in the first place is that you have to give up your defense entirely. But if you do it properly, guess what? You counter them for trying to pressure you. Like, let's say Ryu, he throws a fireball. If I'm a split second off, either I miss my counter with Laura, or I counter them. And that's part of what makes the game so amazing. Is that the motions that they chose is what makes the game amazing. The fact that you have to do forward, down, forward to stop their from jumping in is what makes this game amazing, because it gives you just enough time to do it right. And it sucks as a business that you know, I personally recommended simple mode for Street Fighter 6, but that's just so you guys could make more money, because you guys deserve it. Because the game is that amazing. But for the sake of tournaments, I personally think simple mode should not be allowed. You know what I'm saying? Well, like, if you really break down the game and how the game plays and how they do the moves, the only move I didn't really like was that Tiger Knee motion. Because on D-pad it's very hard to do that consistently. Like, for example, how Akuma, I didn't like how they changed Akuma's Demon Flip. You know, they changed it ever since Street Fighter, well, he never had it. No, he did have it in Alpha. It was Tiger Knee motion in Alpha. In Third Strike, they changed it to Dragon Punch motion, which is forward, down, forward. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. No, there should be no Tiger Knee motions in the game. Or at least give the option for a joystick player to pick Tiger Knee motion, because it's easier for them to do it in joystick. But guess what? In making it easier for the joystick players, you're making it harder for a player like me that plays on D-pad, directional pad, on a controller. And I feel like almost every player in this game plays on controller. So at least give us the option of choosing. Do we want Tiger Knee motion for this move? Or do we want Dragon Punch motion for this move? Because me personally, I want Dragon Punch motion. But a joystick player might find it easier to do Tiger Knee motion. So how about you give both kind of players what they want? You know what I'm saying? Because if you give us the option, I'll choose mine, they'll choose theirs. Right? So now, I like that. You know, we're both happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, in Mortal Kombat 11, doing Scorpion Spear is too difficult for me on D-pad to consistently do it. And it's unfair because full screen, if I land Spear with Scorpion, I get a free crushing blow. I almost never get that crushing blow. Why? Because it's too difficult to do on D-pad. So, what can you do as a company? You could change it to quarter circle forward, right? You could change it to quarter circle forward, and I would probably most consistently do it and never have any issues with it. Or you could change it to back, and I could consistently do it as well. That would make it easier for me as a player. You know, and Mortal Kombat 11 should at least give those kind of options. Because I personally think as a D-pad player that quarter circle motions are easiest for me to do. Can I do the Dragon Punch motion? Yeah. Do I think the average person can do a Dragon Punch motion consistently? No. You know what I'm saying? Is it easier than ever before? Yeah, but I still think, like... And the jumping is way too slow in Street Fighter V. They need to speed up the jumping drastically. drastically. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? These companies are. I am upset with some of the errors in the game, some of the mistakes in the game, but you know, Street Fighter is better than ever before, but this is too unbalanced. That's what makes this game whack. That's what makes this game bad, is that it's so unbalanced. You could have just put the universal overhead and kept some of the special moves from the V skill. You know what I'm saying? And also part of what makes the game dope is jumping at the right time. Like, for example, Nash doesn't have to do that. He could absorb the projectile with V skill, and there's no talent there. You know what I'm saying? There's no talent there. You know, that's part of what makes the game fun, is the pressure and the intensity. The talent that it takes to properly play the game at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't know how else to say it, but I think those are the changes that I would personally make. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to stream. Let's see. I'll try to stream a match, man. I have horrible luck. Whenever I stream, I run into like fucking a piece of shit that just grabs me 60 times and wins the round. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't want to give up on the franchise because the company doesn't want to put in the extra effort to program such an amazing game, because this is such an amazing game. And for everyone that thinks that the game is not the way I'm saying, they're obviously not playing players at the highest level consistently, because that's exactly what the game is. They know I'm right. Any player that knows this game knows I'm right.
Win this battle, and you'll have a 5-win streak in ranked match.
As you can see, I was on a 5-game win streak before I started streaming. So, and this is one of the cheap characters to win with. So, like, it's gonna be an uphill battle, you know, like always, like the Battle of Bunker Hill and shit, right?
Round 1. Fight.
I'm trying not to put a little show for the audience, but I do love this company. I mean, actually, I'm very mad. I do love this game. Especially Capcom. I'm mad at both, to be honest. As for what I said, you saw how the parry kind of ruined a little bit of the. He doesn't have to properly play defense, and that's what ruins the game. Stop adding the parry to fighting games. Stop adding the parry to fighting games. This is what started all the fighting games. This is the reason why Mortal Kombat 11 is so popular. This is the reason why Smash Brothers is so popular. This is the reason why Tekken 7 is making so much money. This started it all. So for anyone out there that doesn't like, you know, understand Street Fighter, this is an amazing game, dog. What I feel like at first they made it way too difficult to play, especially for controller players. You know what I'm saying? Now the game is way easier than ever before. Of course, anyone can land combos now. Try going back to the old games. Try going back to hyper fighting and landing a fucking jab into uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Try going to hyper fighting and landing. Try going to super turbo and landing a crouching medium kick into super with Ryu. You know what I'm saying? I can only do it off a medium punch on these guys. But that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is that it's so fucking extremely complex. Like I wish they would readjust Ultra Street Fighter 2 so that I can easily combo crouching medium kick into super. This stage is way too bright for me, so I'm probably gonna lose this one. I love this. I'm not trying to be like a hater, but like I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? If I took a shit on the street, right, and you was like, "Yo, my man, you taking a shit on the street," I wouldn't be offended that you said that. I would be like, "Yeah, I know I'm taking a shit on the street. It's just whack." As the company, they should be like, "Yo, I know this shit's whack. I know we've basically lost all our fans." Game. Here we go! And for any Street Fighter player that does not end the round with a super flash like that, is not truly talented in this game. So when you beat me with grabs and you think you're the shit because you dash and grab and you think you're the shit, you'll never be able to do that to me offline. Ever. You've never super flashed a fucking thing. Ever. Almost every match with me ends in a super flash.
Fight. Round 2.
He's playing on the Brazilian stage. I love that statue of the by the way. That they have. I'm right. Yeah. Okay.
Final round. Fight.
This one's so bright, I'll be able to play better, but. very bright stage. Like I said, I really don't like the bright stages in any fighting game, dog. Very hard to see, like, in my opinion, a lot of the action that you can see on some of the dimmer stages. You know what I'm saying? I think the recovery on the jab should be a little bit more. On whiff, like when it misses. I don't know how difficult that is to program that. You know, I don't know. I was thinking. I'm not much of a computer programmer, obviously, but like I was thinking there could be an empty box that adjusts depending on how far the opponent stands from each other. So as they get closer, the box in between them gets smaller. So anytime their normal, a player's normal hits the empty box that's in between, the empty space box, the recovery on a normal is way more than it would be if the opponent hit the other player. So like anytime it hits that empty space box that's constantly, consistently adjusting as they stand further away or get closer, like as they're touching, the box isn't even there because obviously every attack's gonna land at that point.
North America.
You know, I was thinking that they could do that so that you could really adjust the recovery time when someone misses, because I feel like that's one of the biggest issues in this game is that they're too quick to recover and get back to something else.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. Final round. Fight.
See that? They don't have to be good. Got it, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I win off of talent.
Win.
I don't win off of picking a character that's good and pretend to be good at the game. I actually win off of talent. That's the difference between me and you. You don't understand that. You don't understand what that feels like to be that good.
Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight!
It's okay. It's okay, man. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You never had the talent to win. You never had the talent to win. They had to program the game for you to fucking win. Fucking trash, man. I hate players like this, man. Give me that! Let's go! You never had the talent to compete with me. You never had it. You'll never have it. Put it like that. You'll never have it. You'll never have it. You'll never be good enough to beat me. The computer programmers that make this game have to add fucking shit like that so you can't compete with me. You are not on my level, dog. You are not on my level, dog. Everything he throws out there on block is insanely safe, bruh. Insanely safe, bruh. That's not talent. That's not talent, and it's not fair to players like me that don't pick those piece of shit characters. You know, for me, almost every fighting game I play is either Street Fighter 5. I play basically all the Street Fighter except Part 1, because Part 1 is straight trash.
And you'll have a 10-win streak.
10-win streak, guys. Root for me, man. Root for me, man.
Round 1.
Root for me, man.
Fight!
It's kind of hard to see this color Ryu on this stage. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm probably not gonna get it. I'm gonna try my best. Come on, dog. What's up? Oh my god, bruh.
Round 2. Fight.
There goes my template. Fucking scrub. Pick gray Ryu, red Ryu on training stages. They don't want me to shine, that's why. This is the talent. Oh man.
You lose.
Oh god. There goes my 10-game win streak because some fucking loser, fucking fake fucking Ryu player that has no talent had to pick the gray fucking outfit with the red headband on my fucking gray and red stage, bruh. That should not be allowed. I wish they would make a change to that. So that color choice is not available if I pick training stage. If I pick gray and red training stage, any character color that a player chooses that has gray and red.
Fight. Round 2. Fight.
Give me that, bitch. Fuck, bruh! Armbar for the win. Let's go. You fucked up my 10-game win streak. Now I'm really gonna fucking win.
You win.
Throw that fucking marshmallow ass, bitch. Throw that marshmallow fucking ass, bitch. With that marshmallow ass.
Round 1. Fight.
fucking pipsqueak!
Round 2. Fight!
Give me that! Give me that! Give me that!
You
Give me
win.
that! Give me that!